Okay, this is 100% something that I'm very intrigued to listen to. Apparently, Jelly Roll sat down with Andrew Schultz on his podcast. They talked about all kinds of things, but there is a segment in here where they are talking about MGK and Eminem. And what drew me to this is I saw a screenshot on Twitter saying that Jelly is trying to get Eminem and MGK to work together. So I'm gonna sit down and listen to this segment of the podcast. I'll edit out some stuff that maybe isn't pertinent to the situation here, but I even think I said this in the Save Me reaction or the Lonely Road reaction, one of the two, that Jelly Roll is the perfect bridge between these two guys. And as much involvement as I've had over the beef over the last few years, I definitely think it would be a cool little moment to hear what these two could do on a song together. But anyway, let's listen to this right here. I'll leave a link to the full podcast down below as well. Let's check it out.
You have a song with MGK. You also have a song with Eminem.
Yeah.
Oh,
These guys are mortal enemies.
Yeah.
And somehow you are so talented that you are positioned in between both of them, and they're like, I still want to work with Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Jelly's
How
a
do you
lovable
manage
guy.
that?
Man, the first thing is honesty,
Okay.
right? You got to come into both parties honest.
How do you talk to M?
Well, so Paul is, and I always bring up Paul in interviews because I feel like he never gets brought up enough.
Paul
for what
is
he's
Paul Rosenberg.
Paul
Eminem's,
Rosenberg has been Eminem's manager since Eminem's had a manager.
Okay.
Lifelong Detroit homie kind of shit. Like really cool inception story. Cool story about Eminem is his I believe his publicist, his assistant who kind of runs the record label. I don't want to call her assistant because she's so much more.
Sure.
But he's had like the same 4 people around him for his entire career.
Wow.
Entire career.
Amazing.
So you don't really talk to, he's the wizard, man. He's the biggest selling artist of our generation. He sold more records than Elvis. You know what I mean? I mean, it's insane when you think about how big. You don't really get to see the wizard a lot.
Yeah.
But I've seen the wizard now and hung out with him, and he's a fucking great guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's really down to earth. He's super honest, and he's very intentional with his words. And we hung out on video set for 12 hours.
Wow.
Just like dicking around. To show you his personality, he walks in my green room going, "Somebody shave me. I need some Gillette." He said, "We can get you a deal there." And,
that's classic.
He's fucking funny
So that's
guy.
the first interaction.
So the first thing, no, the first one we had when we're singing. I'll tell you that story too, but just let me praise Paul for 2 more minutes.
Okay,
He deserves it. Paul has always been trying to get me and M together. Every time I've seen Paul, he's like, if Marshall don't understand anybody else, he's going to get you. When he gets you, he's going to get you. And he's telling me this for since I met him when he was working with Yellow Wolf a decade ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know what I mean? So Paul has been that champion for me the whole way. So Paul calls and he's like, send me the Save Me record. And I'm like, y'all mind if I tell this story first? Because it's hard to get into all
Please.
this.
Because
I don't think I've told this one like his. So Paul calls and he's like, send the stems to the Save Me record. He calls John Manili, my manager. Now keep in mind, John Manili managed Jay for a while. So they've already worked. They have they're friends for real for 30 years now. They've been in the business together for 25 years. So he hits John Manili. He's like, yo, send over Save Me. I think Marshall wants to fuck with it. Wow. And that's all he said. So you know me, I'm like, you know how rap works? I'm like, I'm fixing to get an Eminem remix. He's just going to drop a verse in my lap one day. I don't know when, and I don't care. Whenever it comes, just thank you, God, And I had already told Kells that story back then. And Kells is a real friend. Where Kells is just like, yo, that's huge. Keep me posted. You know what I'm saying? He's cheering for me. At heart, his heart
That's
is
mad commendable.
You know what I mean? Yo, man, you don't have a problem with
Kells being MGK.
Kells being MGK. He's like, yo, you don't have a problem. So this is
Dude, that's actually really solid of him. It's very easy to get caught up in the hive mind mindset of that dude is my nemesis. You can't work with him and us still be cool. That's not kosher. I respect that because this is the mind state that I have. I have so many people that I do songs with or that I'm friends with that have worked with other people that I literally cannot stand. Borderline hate, would fight them on the spot. But I'm not gonna be like, yo, we can't be friends because you're friends with him. That's childish. So that's actually kind of sick. That lets me know immediately that he's probably kind of halfway open to the idea. But let's keep it going here.
I probably shouldn't stamp it too much, but this is 18 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so so I get to the point, I don't think it's coming. Yeah. I'm kind of just like, it didn't happen. It's whatever, it works. And then I get the call, it's like, yo, it's going on the record. It's closing the record. I'm like, what? Second single, they want to shoot a video. Now, keep in mind, me and Kells we hung out at the Grammys. We had both lost, and we ended up on what we call the loser tour that night. We went to all these weird, crazy, Illuminati parties. It felt like it was so fucking weird, dude. And we went to 3 or 4 of them. It was no baby oil bashes. But I went in and we went to all these weird parties, and he had played me the idea for Lonely Road that night. So this is, 3-4 months after me and Kels have already worked on 2 or 3 records together. We're hanging out every day. I'm in LA a bunch. I don't have a friend out there. I only know him.
Yeah.
It's like, still, you talk about when I pull up on you, Bubba, you're my only friend here. What do you mean I'm going to pull up on you? I don't know nobody. You know what I'm saying? You're my only friend.
Well, that makes me feel less special.
No. I mean, like, I love you. I'm looking for my
you too, bro.
Bubba.
I'm
You know
just
what I'm
joking.
saying? So me and him are hanging every day, and I'm like, yo, this Eminem thing's real. I was like, it's fixing to come out, and they want to do all this. Now we're already in there. Now on the other side, John's having to do straight business with Paul. Like, hey, Paul, Kels and Jelly have known each other for 15 years on and off. They were beefing. Jelly dissed him. I was a hater back then. It's a whole other fun story. Yeah. It's like, but they're buddies, and here's where Paul's a good dude too. Paul's like, yo, man, we love Jelly, man. Just appreciate you telling us.
Yeah.
Never got
Man,
brought up.
it's there, bro. The bridge can happen.
Is always to bring them together one day, because I see so much more of them in each other than they know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I hadn't really brought it up to Marshall yet, because I'm just kind of glad that I'm still in that circumference to be able to have them conversations. But I do see, like, there's so much more in them than not. But like I also gave Kel some perspective too. It's like, we all grew up watching Eminem take over the game early. Like, if you got mentioned in an Eminem song, it was like getting mentioned in a comedy special.
Yeah.
You were on fucking fire.
Yeah.
You couldn't be hotter if you got mentioned in an Eminem special or an HBO special.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? An Eminem song or an HBO special is what you wanted your name to be brought up.
I also think that beef between MGK and Eminem, like, that verse from MGK was, I think, the most...
It's underrated, actually.
I thought it was rated. Like, I think most people looked at that and they were like, whoa, this was way better than I thought. And then I think Eminem's verse, I don't think people thought that he absolutely knocked him out the park. Like, I thought that the reaction to it was, this is more competitive than we thought it was going to be. So I think that MGK's respect went up.
Well, what's interesting is over time,
I'll give you a little bit of both of that. He definitely performed better than people thought that he would. And while Eminem's response wasn't like a catchy diss record, it certainly like had crazy levels to it. I mean, I've done a million breakdowns over it, but it hands down had a huge catapult into MGK's career after that. Like, sure, he kind of went down for a little bit with Binge, bounced back with Hotel Diablo, and then just kind of kept going up and riding the coattails after that. And it wasn't even necessarily off of the beef. I mean, a lot more people were listening to him because of that beef. Anyway, let's keep it going.
time, it's changed. In the moment, I remember that being the response, and now when people look back on it, they're like, "Oh, Eminem ended MGK's rap career." Because MGK transitioned in other stuff, and so I think the narrative got rewritten that way. Well, but I remember in the moment people being like, "Yo, I don't think MGK necessarily got destroyed." But yeah, now
only thing I'll say to touch on this, because I'm on a slippery slope.
Yeah, you got to be very careful.
Smart man.
Is everything Andrew just said right now. I want the flagrant listeners to know he said to MGK, I watch y'all have this same conversation together, which I think is super cool. But here's how I feel. Look, man, they're going to get together one day eventually. It's inevitable. The world's a circle. You know what I mean? And I think that they're going to find each other's heart more than they don't. And if they never do connect that way, I think that it did more for both of them than it did to hurt either one of them. Yeah. Whether either party ever fully acknowledged that.
That seems to be kind of the end of that right there. But yeah, it's been 5.5 years now. September was 5 years since the beef happened. I think everybody can kind of move on from it. I feel like the last big makeup that we had was like Logic and Joyner. Here's what we need. We need Drake and Kendrick and Eminem and MGK all on the same song somehow. I don't know if I would like that song, but that would just be like the weirdest culmination of beef ending stuff. We also need Eminem and J. Cole on a song. Random thought. Anyway, that's it. Jelly, I believe in you. You can make this bridge happen. Jelly's one of the most likable guys ever. Dude is the same on camera as he was off camera. We sat around in a little horseshoe shape just like this when we shot our music video together and talked for 4 or 5 hours about just random stuff. Love that guy. Anyway, that's it for this one. Since this is a Jelly Roll video, you guys should stream the song that I have with Jelly Roll. All right, love y'all. See you tomorrow in another video.
So tell them, Crypt, we ain't stopping. Promise you will never change. We gon' be this fucking way until they put us in a grave.